I want to jump right in for a breaking update. Everybody. The House Oversight Committee, this is just an hour or so ago, Chair James Comer issued a flurry of subpoenas naming former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton among the high-profile figures as the Epstein saga continues to unfold. So Libs of TikTok was very excited about this. She tweets out, "Holy shit. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow." So James Comer tweets
That's what
out
they
the
pay her
list.
to do, man. That's the gig.
Exactly. That's the gig. So James Comer tweets out the House Oversight Committee is compelling the following individuals to appear for deposition through issued subpoenas. And this is just comically a who's who of Donald Trump's enemies list. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Merrick Garland, James Comey, AG Bill Barr, a former AG Alberto Gonzales. He was George Bush's second or third AG, whatever it was in the second term. I think he's his second and last one. Jeff Sessions, Robert Mueller, Loretta Lynch, and Eric Holder. Now, I looked at this and I'm thinking, wait a minute. The Epstein files are being subpoenaed along with certain people to give depositions as they relate to Jeffrey Epstein. But could all those names be Epstein related? Because don't forget, they're looking into this weaponization of the government probe with Russiagate.
Right.
Maybe Comey was for that or whatever. Apparently not. Apparently, according to ABC News here, they have the article. House Oversight Chair issues subpoenas for Epstein files, depositions with Clintons. House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer issued numerous subpoenas on Tuesday, including one to the Department of Justice for the complete Jeffrey Epstein files, and another for depositions with former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. So, to be fair, they are subpoenaing the files themselves. Comer said he wants the Justice Department to turn over the full, complete, unredacted Epstein files on or before August 19th. And then, like I said, this is what I was kind of suspicious about. In addition to the Clintons, the Republican-led panel issued subpoenas for depositions from James Comey, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder, Merrick Garland, Robert Mueller, William Barr, Jeff Sessions, and Alberto Gonzales. Republicans on the committee said they are seeking information from these officials regarding the Epstein files. What? I mean, I could see subpoenaing Comey about the Russiagate thing if you're looking into that, but so that list there that you just put out, they're being subpoenaed to talk about Jeffrey Epstein? That's how laughable this is. Like, you may as well put Robert De Niro on that list, Rosie O'Donnell, Keith Olbermann. Like, you may as well just go down the list of notable anti-Trump media figures. That's how laughable that is. I tell you, back in
I want to talk to
2015
Stephanopoulos.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You may as well just go down the list. Back in 2015 and 2016, I won't say lost friendships over the Hillary campaign, but I definitely strained friendships over the Clinton campaign, specifically with talks about Bill and the abuse of women and his connections, to all these very mysterious disappearances and deaths and self-deletions. And, a big part of that was obviously his, predatory behavior towards women, not just Monica Lewinsky, Juanita Broaddrick, but also the goons beating up Jennifer Flowers' neighbor because he continued that affair and the neighbor knew. It really was a scarring experience to see just how many of my close friends were indifferent to that sort of predatory behavior if the person doing it was someone on their team. And so you really know, if you're Donald Trump, you know how bad you fucked this whole thing up, that I do not care that Bill Clinton is being subpoenaed to talk about the Epstein files. Like, if I don't give a shit at this point, that's how you know you really burnt whatever goodwill you had to the ground. Because if you asked me 10 years ago, say, hey, if Donald Trump promises to drag Bill Clinton before Congress and testify to all of his various misdeeds, I'd have probably said, sign me up. I'll vote for him right here, right now. That's how consumed I was by this at a certain point. So the fact that I don't give a shit about this now, the fact that I'm shrugging this off as a laughable deflection and a distraction just shows you how far they have fallen. They have really, really blown it. I mean, this is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You would think you would put at least one, like, non-enemy of Trump on that list, even if you think the guy's innocent and has nothing to hide. Just bring him in so it looks less partisan than this. I mean, this is just a who's who of Donald. A comic. Robert Mueller, Loretta Lynch, Eric Holder. I mean, come on. This is getting very pathetic. Very, very pathetic.
Well, it was very obvious from very early on that this was exactly what they meant by going after the deep state. This was always what it was. Because we had so many people in our space who were running around talking about Kash Patel like he's Elliot Ness. I listened to his book. I think it was on the way out to Seattle to find out, like, okay, so because people kept bringing up his book. So I listened to it, and it was very clear that this was exactly what this was going to be, because his book makes some valid points about the intelligence services and their coziness with media and politicians, but then takes a turn into this very partisan, but it's mostly the libs.
Right,
it's mostly the liberals. It was very clear that his idea at best of cleaning it up was going to be getting rid of people who were sympathetic to their political enemies and replacing them with people who would do the same things for them. That was very obvious. Like, I don't understand how anyone who read his book didn't get that. I did.
Yeah, I mean, it is just embarrassing at this point. It's embarrassing because what you're seeing here, and this even goes to the Russiagate. We may do a Russiagate story today if we have time. We have a lot on the docket. I don't know if we'll have time. But, when it comes to the whole reverse Russiagate inquiry now, it's the same thing. That is what it is. We're going after our opponents within the quote-unquote deep state, that's as far as we'll go.
Well, and there's the thing. They are just as corrupt, and as we can see from Ghislaine Maxwell's move to a minimum security prison after her private meeting with Trump's personal lawyer with no one else allowed in the room, we now can say with some fair assurance that whatever illusion any supporter of Donald Trump had, that he's not part of the cabal of global friends of the playground that they thought he was going to excise. He's made it pretty clear that he's part of that cabal and terrified of what Ghislaine Maxwell could release after possibly being the source of that book with his artwork in it. This was, again, they made it very clear. Kash Patel's book made it very clear. If anyone sat down and really looked at what these people were saying, Tulsi Gabbard, these students are Islamicized. They're being controlled by Hamas. Like, it was very clear this is who these people were. That's why I personally found it really unforgivable that so many people who should know better were running around pumping up Gabbard and Patel and the rest of them like they're really going to clean up Washington. Look who they work for. Look at look at this famously narcissistic sociopath that is the boss. This famously thin-skinned guy who got rid of his brain, his robe, Steve Bannon, because he was getting too many magazine covers. You really think he would have hired anybody or not then subsequently fired them if they did not simply weaponize these agencies in his favor?
Yeah, no, it's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, Patel and Tulsi were going to go in there and investigate Trump. Yeah, that was going to happen.
Yeah. Or even investigate anything in a way that was just not like nakedly partisan. I'm not saying you got to subpoena Donald Trump himself, but you can't flesh out that list with someone who's not on Donald Trump's shit list.
Of course.
I mean, you make it so plainly obvious.
Well, they don't care because this is just for their base. This is just for their base. They are testing how much they can just throw out obvious chum to the chuds, and have them bite and say, "Yeah, Maxwell, Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton, Hillary." That's what this is. That's what this is. They're seeing, and of course their ops in the media. We'll get into this more in the Sydney Sweeney thing. These people like Benny Johnson, Nick Sorter, they work for these people just like Stephanopoulos and Colbert work for their people. Right. You didn't escape being psychologically manipulated by a government and intelligence agency operatives that are cozy with the media. You just switched over to different operatives and different media and different mouthpieces because the other thing wasn't working. And if it gets to the point this isn't working, they'll flip again.
Right. Exactly.
Please clap.